grab myself a water. All right. So today we are going on a deep dive, an astrological deep dive with the Black Dahlia and the Zodiac killer. We're going to talk about aspects that show violent tendencies or murderous tendencies. We're going to look at aspects that show possibly getting murdered. So and these are different types of aspects. So we're going to look at both of those. And then we're going to look at the stories, both stories, Black Dahlia and Zodiac Killer, and we're going to look at these charts too. So get comfy as we talk about these things. Now remember, oracles, we are just observing today. We are just observing. We do not want to absorb any resonance from what we are looking at. Okay? So remember that we are just observing. If you see any of these aspects in your chart and you're in my Patreon, feel free to just contact me and we can talk about it. So you don't get scared or anything like that. I don't want anybody to get scared. Good morning. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Monique. Okay, so let's begin. Let's talk about murder aspects. I almost want to write them down for you guys so you can see on a large scale here before we start screen sharing. Now, cruelty, murder aspects. Let's write these in red. Saturn conjunct Mars. I'm going to write these up for notes too, and I'm going to put it on my Patreon so you guys have the aspects so you can see them and have them with your notes, because I think it's important to have these, especially when you're looking at your family's charts. And I think it might be important in looking at possible potential spouses, all that stuff. So, okay, Saturn conjunct Mars is the first aspect here. And my red pen's already running out. I'll use it. Uranus is also going to be affected because this is sudden impulses, just like with Deepak Chopra on that transit he had when he had that fun night. He was having a Uranus transit that only lasted a couple hours where he could have his impulse. So Uranus is also going to be something that gets affected. So Uranus conjunct Mars in Aries. I'm going to write that down. Uranus conjunct Mars in Aries. Already you're probably like, oh yeah, that probably makes sense, right? The Sun square or in opposition of Mars. I make the little symbols so it's easier. And these are violent tendencies. This is cruelty or murderous aspects that we're going through right now. Mars conjunct an angle. So that means the MC, the DC, the IC, the AC, any of those with Mars conjunct. Mars conjunct Algol. A Scorpio moon conjunct or square Saturn and Mars. So we got a Scorpio moon square or conjunct Saturn or Mars. The Sun or their moon conjunct Mars. So we can just add that to square conjunct and just add, so I put square in opposition, so just add conjunct to that too. Neptune afflicted in Aries. Afflicted just means like square, conjunct, all these aspect afflictions, and with it being a malefic, and if it's at an anaretic degree that we've looked at, like death degrees. Okay. The MC, conjunct Algol, is murderous tendencies. We know who's got that. And other ones. Now, other placements you're going to want to look at, any degrees in the third decant of Leo. People in my astrology course, the third decant would be the 20 degrees to 30 degrees. Very dangerous. We know somebody who has those too. So the third decant of Leo, and the first decant of Scorpio, and especially if it's on the ascendant. Okay. I think that's all. Oh, I have more. Any hard aspects to Aries and malefics in there. So in Aries, I'm sorry you're getting a bad rap here, but good morning. We are looking at cruelty aspects, murder aspects in astrology, Western astrology. So I'm making a list right now for y'all. So Aries, hard aspects, Saturn, Mars in the third, ninth, or 10th, or even first house. So first, I would say first, third, ninth, and 10th house. If we have any Aries, Saturn, or Mars in those placements, there is a violent tendency there. Okay. Aries. So the Saturn or Mars in first, third, ninth, 10th. Is it afflicted too? Like, okay. Or in one of those placements, the third decant of Leo, the first decant of Scorpio. It's like when I look at my notes. All right, we got murderous tendencies, Saturn conjunct Mars, Uranus conjunct Mars in Aries. If any, even these things in Aries, I would be wary. Also, Scorpio or Leo, these are violent placements, okay? Here, if you guys want to take a screenshot. But I'm also going to put them on Patreon so you guys have them. Okay. Now, next, possible death by murder. Now, so Sun square or conjunct Mars, Moon conjunct Mars on an anaretic degree. Also, if any of these, your Sun is conjunct Hyades, Castor, Pollux, Pleiades, Aceli, and Praskipe. I don't know how to say that. So I'll spell them out for you. These are danger of being murdered, and the Sun would be conjunct these star systems. Also, Moon conjunct Mars. Mars in the 7th house at a solstice is a murderous outrage that could happen. What the fuck, right? The Moon on Algol is another possible of being murdered. And other murderous outrages are Mars in the 8th house in a solar ingress of the Sun into Aries. So that would be another thing to look out for. But all right. So now that we've talked about murder aspects and charts, let's pull these charts up. All right. after we read through some of the stories, because we need to know what we're looking at here. All right, so let's first look at this article of where all this is coming up. You know, the Zodiac and the Black Dahlia killer may have been the same man. Amateur code breaking whiz claims irrefutable. And he's neurodivergent. He says, you know, this is what it is. So, an amateur sleuth, a self taught cryptography expert, is convinced he's cracked the notorious unsolved Zodiac and Black Dahlia murders and that the killer is the same man. Alex Baber, a 50-year-old West Virginian with autism, used AI programs and his code-breaking prowess to whittle down the Zodiac killer's infamous 1970 clue that he sent to the newspapers and identified a single suspect with an overwhelming connection across all murders, a late Chicagoan named Marvin Margolis. Okay, so this is who he thinks it is. And he's like, it's my autism. Once I start on something, I have to see it through. The deeper I go, the harder I push, and my mind's wired differently. He told LA Times, explaining he spent up to 20 hours a day on the code for months at a time. So someone did survive the Zodiac killer, and this is like what he gave from is believed to kill at least 5. I think it's more on the wiki now. But all right, Baber took the riddle sent by Zodiac killer to taunt California police after his 5 murders across 1968 and 1969. He just terrorized and tormented the San Francisco Bay Area. Oh, yeah, I can pull it up again. I'm so sorry, I didn't see that. You can put a screenshot again. For people who are on my Patreon, you're not going to be able to. Let me stop sharing. Hold on. There you go. No problem. Okay, so now Baber took the riddle, blah, 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 blah. Yep, we read this. In which he wrote, my name is followed by 13 mysterious symbols, and asked AI program to compile a list of 13 letter names that returned to 71 million possibilities. And Baber, who owns Cold Case Consultants of America, poured through witness accounts and known details about the killer while cross-checking them against census and public records. He was able to narrow it down to an enormous list down to 185, then down to 14, and finally landed back on the name Marvin Murrell, an alias assumed by Marvin Margolis. After he was investigated for the 1947, sorry, that's the dyslexia. 1947 Black Dahlia murder. Margolis was about 21 years old when he lived in Los Angeles with Elizabeth Short, the 22-year-old aspiring actress who will become known as the Black Dahlia. Okay, her body was found mutilated, and we'll talk about that more. Here is his picture. Hello, Selena. Here's his picture. The murder was grisly. The short torso had, you can read right here what it looked like. I'm not going to read it out loud. Remember, the investigators suspected that the killer had some sort of medical expertise because of the way the body was left. And that's exactly what Margolis had. He was a frontline Navy medic in World War II, where he'd been trained to treat troops on the fly with crude methods, including conducting amputations with basic combat knives known as foxhole surgery. So Margolis also had plenty of practice in the grim trade, having landed his first wave of bloody battle in Okinawa in the Pacific Theater just 2 years before Short's murder. He wasn't a doctor, but he had done things doctors often do, said Rick Jackson, a former LAPD homicide detective who has become convinced by Baber's findings. So I thought it was an FBI agent, but it's an LAPD agent who agrees with him. It's hard to say that this one's also the Zodiac killer because of that other documentary. I've watched it 1.5 times now, about the family, the Seawater family, talking about all the vacations and the happenings of murders happening on those vacations. And so there's another. Am I am I glitching, guys? Tell me if I'm glitching because it's like glitching to me. Okay, good. I guess as long as it's not glitching for you guys. Okay, good. Uh, so I also want to look at Arthur Lee Allen, because he was also a suspect of possibly being the Zodiac killer. Um, okay, so we're going to look at both today and see what the transits are on the days of those murders and see if these show energy that would produce this type of an outcome. Okay, so let's keep looking at here. Isn't she gorgeous? Such a tragedy. Margolis had aspirations to become a surgeon after the war, but his dreams were crushed after he was diagnosed with reoccurring battle dreams, tiredness, which is chronic, intermittent, startled reactions, and periods of depression. He was discharged from the Navy on a disability due to PTSD that left him resentful individual who shows ample evidence of open aggression, a military psychiatrist wrote after treating him at the time. He desired operation room technique, which was never granted to him, and this is one of the underlying bases for his resentment and disgust. Years later, Margolis was living with Short before her murder, but was cleared as a suspect while investigators were under the impression she had been kidnapped days before the killing. That is definitely a big key because they stopped looking at him, I bet. He also had an alibi, but the LAPD didn't report details of it. And this is the what men get. They get the benefit of the doubt, right? Instead of this is probably him. He lived with her. Like, he then spent years moving numerous times across the country and stints in California. Okay, Margolis' possible connections to the Zodiac killings became downright eerie once Baber uncovered newspaper accounts from the Dahlia killing describing a man frantically driving around Compton motels looking for a room with a bathtub the night before the murders. One of the lodgings was called the Zodiac Motel at the time, and that was the key to where she was murdered as well as his future moniker, Baber told the LA Times. The circumstantial evidence continued when Baber contacted Margolis' son, who showed him the Japanese bayonet his father brought back from World War II that matched the Zodiac's possible murder weapons and was even branded with a symbol that matched one from Zodiac's famous code, which we know is the vertex, right? The vertex point he's using, which means he was identifying with the fate, meaning he thinks he was their fate, whoever this is. So he was using, the par fortune too. Par fortune, if you turn it a little bit, it's fate. So people who are working with me, we know that fate is a myth. Fate is a story to us now. Fate is something that we don't fuck around with. Fate is a myth, okay? Okay, word Zodiac would be it's irrefutable. So he's saying it's like irrefutable. This is what he looked like in one of the drawings because he'd wear this outfit. There are critics that don't agree. One skeptic told LA Times that Weber was a great smooth talker, but had a lot of empty calories and few real qualifications. Still, the amateur sleuth convinced others with plenty of expertise. All of his work checked out. Former code breaker for NSA. So maybe that was the one that he worked for the NSA, and he says it all checked out to him. Former LAPD homicide detective Jackson. In my opinion, these are solved cases, he said. So there are too many links between the both. There's overwhelming circumstantial evidence. He's left breadcrumbs all along. I don't know. And it's like after watching that other documentary, it only has 3 episodes. This is Zodiac speaking. It's like, okay, let's take a look at these. Maybe the charts can give us more clue of who really was the Zodiac killer. Okay. Let's first look at here, the Black Dahlia, what exactly her case became highly, we can just read through this real quick. So she went missing. She disappeared on January 9th. So we're going to see some sort of conjunctions, transits probably on January 9th. And then they found her. They think she died within the morning of the 14th into the January 15th in 1947. This is for her photo from underage drinking. Ridiculous. That's on there. So she returned home, brief trip with Robert Red Manley, a 25-year-old married salesman she had been dating. Weird that it's near the Biltmore. Okay, so here it was. I don't want to read it out loud, guys, because it's just heinous, you know. Right here. She'd been for about 10 hours. Body had been washed. They did this to her face. This is what it's known as. It's very Scottish, right? Several cuts here. The lower half of her was positioned a foot away, and this was tucked neatly beneath her. It was a very weird case. And okay, so let's pull up his chart. Here it is. Let's move the date to the day she disappeared. I kind of want to look at these fixed stars. Too, because they're important. Okay, so this is the day she was missing. We already see Mars is pretty close to Algol here. Whew. And we have a quintile with the Mars in the true node. We have a moon. Well, first of all, Saturn transit is in the first decant of Leo here. Transit. And we also have the moon and Pluto right on the true node. Do I think he did it already? Yeah, for this murder. and then look at this right here. We have a 22-degree Pisces Uranus that is conjunct Venus, and the sun in Aries here, and it is conjunct Venus, and it is square Pluto. Okay, so let's look at these aspects here. If you guys see any, it does feel icky. Yes, you're right. It does. Absolutely. Uh, I know. I actually was thinking that, Sunny Joy. I was like, is this the same like blueprint because the names are so similar? That's so weird you said it because I was thinking that when I was preparing for this. I'm like, wow, that looks eerily like, isn't Bondi's Jupiter and Pluto opposite? Yeah, I think so. We can go through their murderous tendencies and aspects because they all have them. I know it. When I'm like writing these down out of the encyclopedia, I was like, we saw so many of these in those charts. But he's already got a stellium here, this Marvin. He's got a stellium in Aries. Um, and look at this big square, T square here with this in Aries. I just, um, where's the Saturn? It's over here in Scorpio. Okay, so Mars here has good energy going towards the sun, and this means he was easy to hide to me. Oh, he doesn't seem threatening. Uh, and then Saturn here is square Neptune. And that second decant. So when Neptune is square, and look, it is square Algol and it is square Saturn. This is treachery, and it's in the eighth house. It's in Scorpio. It's at 13 degrees. So, and then he has this over here conjunct. So he absolutely has murderous tendencies here. God damn. Okay. The sun is conjunct Venus. That is not one of them. The sun square Pluto, possibly. That would be an affliction to the sun. You always want to check the luminaries afflictions. And this would also make it difficult to know whether or not he was a threat. Moon square Jupiter, moon square Pluto, moon square Castor, moon square Pollux. This, and the people who are tendencies of getting murdered are on those degrees, Castor and Pollux and Pleiades. So he's got an issue, apparently. He Whenever we see these squares with the nodes with Saturn, it's like, and it's retrograde. How many times has he tried? Like, how many times has he come in and it just didn't work out and you just murdered somebody again, you know? He's stuck in a very dark place, this soul. I mean, even the Chiron key is at 22 degrees Aries. It's like heal your murderous tendencies of what your heart and mind want over here. You don't have to shine through that warrior. You don't have to shine through the soldier that's still stuck in World War II. And then with this 22 degrees Uranus right conjunct Venus, you don't know how he's going to treat women. Like he can act like a smooth charmer 1 minute, and then the next. All right, let's move to the 15th when she was found. They're talking about what I did. Saturn still in the first decant here of Leo with Pluto retrograde conjunct true node. And with this, remember when we have the transit and the natal work together, and look, it's like close to Castor and Pollux. It's like, what do you got? What do you got problems with the twins for? Okay. I would even say she didn't die that day. Like, there, she died with Mars on that Jupiter, I would say. So probably the day before. Okay. Let's pull Elizabeth Short's chart now and check that. Oh, you guys, it does go right over. Awesome. Because it wasn't switching the last time. It's just so close to that Elizabeth Smart, right? It's driving me a little nuts. I'm going a little nuts. July 29th, 1924. In Boston, Massachusetts. So let's look at January 9th first when she went missing. Okay, so this is the day she disappeared. Oh, look, Jupiter's also involved with the sending node, a return of something here. Saturn, that's in that first decant, is conjunct her sun. And these are men who think they're leaders and they're going to teach her a lesson when it comes to Saturn like this. We got with Sun and Mars in one of the Earth houses, so in the third dimension, it's like a man coming into your life. We talked about this with Amy Bradley. She had and she also had one of Sun and Mars together in the transit. All right, let's go to the 14th now. And let's look at death degrees. Let me pull that up. Just have it ready. Okay. We have a 6-degree Leo, 11-degree Cancer. Oh my God. 28-degree Leo, Mercury, a 1-degree Cancer, Venus. Oh, look at this. What is she famous for? What a man did to her? It just makes me sad. Sorry. Okay. So to be murdered, we're going to look at the Sun conjunct. So Leo, 6 degrees. Let's just check there. I'm just going to check right there. Leo, 6 degrees. No, so it's not any of those locations for her son, for the danger of being murdered there. For the first aspect, the next is the Sun conjunct or square Saturn or Mars, and she has the Sun square Saturn here. And like, as we're looking at this chart, you feel the stress of this. You feel, I'm just going to take a little screenshot of that so I can check if there's any connections to Elizabeth Smart's kidnapping. It's real quick. Okay. Moon close to Algol. Okay, so this is her death like movement here. Wow. We got Mars retrograde in conjunct of Mars retrograde here. Look at the moon moving over Algol. Venus on moon and Pluto. Sun on Mercury. Is this the right date? It is. Wow. Okay. Chiron key and Jupiter moving around Sagittarius and Scorpio here. Okay, let's check the degrees of death. So the first thing we check is the Sun. So that would be 6 degrees Leo. There you go. Mars, 5 degrees Pisces. And then 2 degrees, but I don't usually count that. Saturn at 26 degrees Libra. Nope. Pluto, 12 degrees Cancer. It's within 3 degrees, but nodes. Sometimes I like to check the true node. 23 degrees Leo. Reduced death, drowning, stifling. So it's like stopping someone from becoming a stifling, smothering them, getting rid of, snuffing them out. 21 degrees Pisces. Let's check that one. It's 1 degree. I like them better if it's within 1 or exact. That usually shows. But okay. That is Black Dahlia. I do think she's already back. I'm not sure. Maybe she's acting. I don't know. I would have to look through and see what could possibly be her incarnation in, and if she was kidnapped again, maybe, and it was Elizabeth Smart. Who knows? Because these things sometimes happen. In the world of fate. Okay. Now let's check the victims of the Zodiac killer on Marvin Margolis chart and see if it lines up to him possibly committing those killings too. So the first victims were on December 20th, 1968. So he's going to be older here if it's him. Like already, I'm like, he's got a true node right on the sun here in Aries, Saturn on the other luminary in Aries, and then a Chiron key on Venus. We got Venus on descending node in the community. The only thing that makes me think not to is one, the Zodiac killer focused on couples. You know, certain psychopathy that is murderous, they usually stick to one thing, and the other one was surgical and not a woman. So one's got an issue with couples and the other one's got an issue with the woman's body. Keep getting messages. Silent my messages. Okay. So I would say yes, could be a possible. The next one was on July 4th through the 5th. So we're going to check the 4th first. This was an attack on another couple. I'll check the 5th too. We got true node on Uranus, 22 degrees in Pisces. We got a Chiron key on the sun. Sun on Pluto retrograde. I mean, look at this square to this Castor and Pollux. This is scary. This is a scary chart. And then this yod here, I didn't even talk about yet, but this is like Machiavellian, like the ends justify the means. This is like, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want with this Jupiter and Capricorn, with the Neptune Leo here being the apex planet of this yod at 22 degrees here in Uranus. I mean, this man thought he was God's gift. So I would say, yeah, let's go to the 5th. With such murderous tendencies in someone's chart, it's just, yeah, look at that. All right, let's go to the next one. I wrote down 4 for September 27th is the next one. I'm going to pull up the other chart too. Let me do that real quick so we can compare. Stop. Okay, fine. Shit. Oh, no, Magic for Susans. Every time I see the name Susan. I'm like, magic for Susans. They're not even going to talk, so I don't even want to look at the Clintons anymore. Okay. They're not giving us anything. So the other guy was Arthur Lee Allen. And he was December 18th, 1933. Is anybody else's birds acting crazy right now? Because the birds are going nuts where I'm at. Like crazy. There's big, large groups of them too. Oh. Oh, yeah. Because he cut it in half. He was the other half. Okay. I could totally see that. So the first one they didn't say he was the Zodiac killer, they just said he was possible Zodiac. The Arthur Lee Allen was so he has nothing to do with the Black Dahlia. I just want to check this one too, because that documentary was pretty good too. The autistic dude didn't make a documentary. Okay, well, we already have one Mars conjunct moon here. It's like that 0-degree Gemini retrograde too. So this also could be we've got a Saturn Venus conjunction, Mars over here conjunct Jupiter. Where are those the Pollux and stuff? I want to see that on his too. I just made it bigger. It's probably for the best anyways. Ooh. We also have Mars and Moon conjunct, which we taught. That's also inside 22 degrees. This one feels murderous too. Oh my God. Let's go to the other ones, see if it shows similar too. Definitely check out that documentary too if you ever get the chance. Let's see what you think. Back to the fourth. What are you guys saying over here? Hey. So the Italians are sending ground troops. Oh my God. Did I already talk about the cipher? The Zodiac killer cipher. This one. This one. Yeah, he's using that as like a sigil too. So, so if we were to go and put that, we talked about it a little bit. but you can't have it because we don't have the angles. But yeah, he was using those lines, I think, to identify as fate or as their fortune, and kind of personify that energy. So, yes, and that was the deathbed confession that it was Elizabeth. Um, from Marvin Margolis, the deathbed confession. Is that what you're talking about? This one? Yeah. I definitely think he killed the Black Dahlia for damn sure. I'm not sure with the Zodiac. It's definitely the frameworks there. Uh, he's just a little older, you know. This like he's going to be in his 60s for the Zodiac killings. If he's the Black Dahlia when he was 21, um, and like how did he go that long, you know, without killing too? I don't know. But I definitely think he is the Black Dahlia killer. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's the one to look at. Yeah. Let's go through his death degrees here. 27 degrees Pisces, death by suicide murder. Um, Sun at 4 degrees Aries. Well, look at the sun. Nope. So late Aries here and danger at 22 degrees. Okay. Aries 18, 9 degrees, death by violence, fearful, miserable death. Um, and this is if you're in the fate wheel, okay, not if you're not in the fate wheel. Okay. Um, this 1 degree Mars and Gemini is just like, of course, he was able to hide who he was when they have Mars and Gemini like that. I'm being called to like even look for the murderous tendencies in some other charts. If you guys want to do that, let me know at the end of this, because now I want to look at the other ones. Um, so for this one though, I definitely think he's the Black Dahlia killer. I'm not sure about being the Zodiac too, just because of that other documentary. Um, it just is so much in that other documentary too about it being this one. And look at that retrograde Aries. He also was able to hide himself. By quintile with algal. Okay, so already we've got squares from Neptune here. We've got oppositions of healing in the mind. I hope you guys watch this documentary too, because this one will kind of, I mean, this Mars and Moon on top of each other in Capricorn at 22 degrees, opposite Castor, Pollux. Those, it's like they're against the nurturing love of the women. Like this is nurturing energy here. And when they're in opposition of it, it's like when that you see love and they're like, kill it. Yeah. So this one also to me. All right, let's move and see what for September. We looked at September. Let's look at October 11th was another killing, Zodiac killing. And we'll look at both of them. And then October 11th for him. 69. So let's look at Marvin's for sure. He's got that true note on that Uranus again, and that key on the sun. I mean, look at that. It's awfully close. I mean, he could have totally done it here too. He's got actual conjunctions though, but this could also mean like he's having heart problems, stroke, heart attacks type of stuff too. So this could be health. It doesn't necessarily always mean, I don't know. But if you guys watch that other documentary too, let me know what you think, because it was hard to convince me that this Marvin Margolis in his late 60s was able to take on the Zodiac killings and then didn't kill for such a long time too. So for me, after watching so many documentaries on murder, usually they don't stop for that long. I don't know. But I would definitely watch that other, this is the Zodiac speaking, and listen to the family of the Seawater family and what they say and what they found. I don't know, or maybe he's a copycat and maybe it really was Marvin Margolis the whole time. So it can, I would say from this, there was no definitive of one or the other for the Zodiac killings, even though there are, conjunctions and stuff. But we could look at the assailants charts too, if you guys want, or we can look at Zodiac, murderous tendencies in politicians' charts now, which is kind of, I'm like, now that we know where the treachery is, let's go look. So, and that other documentary is on Netflix. And then we can come back to this too, because I'm really interested in what you guys have to say about this. Okay, so first one's first. Let's go here. Definitely not in that day, even though possibly could have been him too. Just kidding. No, he's got his own victims, apparently. Okay, we're gonna have the same ones going here. Let's look at these murderous tendencies here, because we know this one's got it. Okay. We got Neptune afflictions, yes. MC conjunct algol, yes. Third decant Leo on the ascendant. I mean, his first decant of Scorpio is over here in his expression. That should be, that to me tells me that he is too. Let's go down to these aspects here that he has with Mars. He has Mars square algol. He's got Mars conjunct ascendant, Mars square MC. AC is conjunct, MC is conjunct algol, and AC is square algol here. Let's check if Saturn is square Chiron key. Remember, these ones think they have nothing to learn. They're God's gift. They don't have to heal and learn lessons. That's a struggle for them. So telling him what to do right now is hilarious to me. Like, if anybody tries to tell him what to do, he probably loses fucking shit. And I want to see more of that. Saturn conjunct, his Saturn is conjunct those. Wow. Okay. That's also a sign with Saturn and next to this Pollux and Castor. I mean, just this right here is very murderous, guys. I mean, we don't have to really go further in the chart. And why only some people can see it is because it's only the awakened people can see this Mars head and this wound. It's hidden. They have to find it. And that's why he can hide it. And people are like, oh, and he's like, oh, no. I'm not that murderous person. No. That's not me. Right. And this is how well things get hidden in the 12th house. So if you have something in the 12th house, that should show you that you may be blind to something and you have to contemplate it, go inward. And we know this motherfucker did. Okay, let's go to the one we know is super murderous besides this one, because he's just acting on it right now. Oh, here we go. Like, even just looking at this, you're like, what is going on? Well, he's got Mars conjunct Saturn. That is the first one. Mars conjunct Saturn, Mars square Neptune. This is treachery. Saturn conjunct or square Neptune. Wow. This one may be worse. I don't even know if that's possible, but this one might be worse. A true node in the last decant of Leo. Like, he really thinks this is what he's meant to do and he's supposed to do this. This is so dangerous. And then look, 444 MC. It's like, it seems like it's going to be bad. I tell you guys, whenever I see 444, I'm like, ah. And his middle sky is in Libra at 444. It's like, is he going to be traveling for his career and something? 21 degrees Sagittarius. That too. Okay. Let's check. He's got a Pisces moon, water moons. I mean, Pisces moons are soft, so I'm confused by this 28-degree Pisces moon. Like, where is he intuiting? Like, what big picture is he really seeing? Because I don't think it's the same one that I'm seeing. Any Aries hard aspects? Sometimes we have to look at the opposite too. War is fun for him. This is his joy house, and it has, the goddess and Aries in it. So he thinks this is fun. Wonderful. Now, we've talked about just this degree, and I've said run, but it's also in the 7th house. Like, I just feel bad because it's like for his wife. Um, because seventh house, that is like danger of being murdered, you know, it changes a little bit here. He probably leans more, oh, yeah, okay. Ignored the intuition so long it no longer shows up. You just can't even hear it anymore. Yeah. Um, mm, just as much danger as he's creating it for himself. We've talked about Saturn in the 10th too. Like, he's just biding his time with this MC here in Libra in the 10th like this. I'm 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 concerned at his spiritual amateurism because he's going to really hurt himself with so just know he's going to hurt himself with all of this. This huge square here too. I mean, with the nodes and with Algol and Uranus, that is the most murderous thing that I can see, actually. It's 22 degrees Scorpio in retrograde, 22 degrees in Leo in the first decant, or last decant, sorry. And then down here, Algol in the sixth house. Fuck. And then descendant node. It's almost like, was he Robert E. Lee? Like, who was he really? Because he was definitely leading a war before, because he is like still gung ho, squared away, ready for war, you know, from this south node in his community. It's like, oh, I'm a leader now. That must mean we're going to war. Like, it's just, it's delusional. And it's also aspecting this Pollux and Castor, um, which are apparently in danger. And his subconscious is kind of focused on those. What the fuck? The sun, we talked about this a little bit. He can only shine through the traditional relationship, but then he has two personalities with it, which we've seen because he cheats on all of his women. If you continuously cheat on women, you probably are attracted to men. I'm just going to throw that out there. But yes, this is probably more murderous than the other. Let's look at him now. All right. Mars square Algol in the sixth house. Look, this is him. Don't be mean. You guys are anti Semitic. This is that anti Semitic talk that he does right here. They're being mean to me. That's my wound. What can't he see? Any healing, the feminine energy, he just ignores. This is what he's ignoring. This is what people can't see within him. So then I want to know, like, what was this? What is he hiding here that nobody can see? Because when we have Venus conjunct Chiron key, I always see sexual psychopathy in some form or fashion. Hurting of women in some way with Venus conjunct Chiron key. But all right, let's keep looking at these other ones. Saturn square Chiron, Saturn square ascendant. This one, man. And this is why he like leads with this. I'm wounded, so I have to do this. Oh my God. All right. But this right here is a murderous Mars in the last decant of Leo. And it's square Algol, Saturn in the 10th. Moon is also conjunct descendant node, so his heart is in the past. Like he's seeing reflections of the past. He's not even in this fucking world. He's not even with us, I would say. He is enjoying playing war and he thinks he's part in time. Yeah, he really does think that too. But none of them can get their story straight of why they're going to war, right? None of them are getting their story straight. It's like it doesn't make sense. The story isn't they lost the plot. They lost the plot the last time they did this shit. Jesus. And they think we're stupid enough to follow it again. They really do. Because they're that stupid. So it's hard. It's hard to watch. It's so hard to watch. Let's see if he's got some murderous tendencies. Yep. Mars in opposition of Uranus. That is one. Wow. And his Mars is square Castor and Pollux. And Saturn is conjunct Algol, retrograde. That's another one. So this one's more dangerous than he lets on. They're just creating the Armageddon for themselves in that world that is so old that it probably needs to go away. He is absolutely more dangerous than we think, guys, with Mars on 22 degrees Aries, and it's in opposition of this 18-degree Uranus and Libra. When you get, so the later decant Leos are just like angry, arrogant, rageful, a lot of energy. Like it's just narcissism to the max. When you have like these middle Leos here in the second decant, it's like they're looking forward to possibly being this at one point. They're looking forward to being that leader. So there's like promise here. They think there's promise. And then we have in the first decant descending node, meaning he never got to. It's famous for not becoming the leader. So he lost something, and it's opposite his sun in the community. So he will sacrifice happiness, true love, authenticity to become this leader that, or whatever Trump is promising him. We know why this is famous. Yeah, I guess you feel that with him too. Yeah. There's something we don't know with this. So, all right, let's go on. Melania, I think this is a good one to look at because people try to paint her as like the victim and soft, and it's like I don't see her as the victim. I see her as a manipulator in some form, and she's not manipulating for the good. So I don't see her like that. All right, let's take a look. Treachery, already Mars in opposition of Neptune. Mars is semi-square Castor. Wait a second here. Wait just a second. Is she more in danger of being murdered? What the fuck? Her sun is conjunct Saturn. So at a 5 degree like that, and it's in opposition, I would say she's more in danger of being murdered. Yeah, you guys were like, yeah, she is married to him. Girl, you in danger, but she thinks she's not. So with that Chiron key down here, it's like you need to blowtorch your way out of the hearth of the home there and create a new one. Learn to express like. All right, let's look at Caroline Levitt and see if she has any murderous tendencies aspects. Well, goddamn. This is how she can keep lying. Her sun, how she shines, is square, her heart. So she is conflicted. And that was what I was reading when we were looking at her. Very much conflicted. And she probably doesn't even know why. She probably takes it as nobody likes me. I don't want to be here because everybody's against me. And what I think in my world, everybody's against my world, which is Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump is her world. So this placement right here makes it very easy to lie. Why do they all have Taurus? Kind of like all the leader Nazis all had Taurus placements too. And yep, bulldozer energy. Mm-hmm. I mean, Uranus is conjunct, no, it's transiting right now, conjunct Algol. But her moon sitting there, and we know that is also conjunct death of partner degree at 25 degrees Taurus. So something, but I've also seen death in partner and it be them and not be their actual partner. Do you see what I'm saying? She's got Saturn and Aries, that it's in opposition of this 29 degree Chiron key. Look at that. Ugh. You're not going to like the consequences of what you're doing here. So she will be famous for a sudden, freedom, a relief of her duties, I would say. And that's what I was like thinking too, that she was going to be leaving soon from the community. When Uranus is retrograde, it's like, now you're here, now you're not. It's like the lightning bolt portal, bye. Let's see how the Mercury retrograde. So we'll see how this comes up, if she leaves soon or not. But yeah, she's got some too. Looky. I mean, Saturn square, the treacheries, lies are part of that. Not learning how to be conscious, only learning the rules of the lie world, you know? Oh, and look at this. Yeah, we already looked. Her moon is this is it. So let's move on to the next one. Him. It's like he's so slimy. It's like hard. He just left. Look, his sons are here. He like just left from, being a murderous leader. Okay. Here we go. Mars square Saturn. There is a murderous tendency here. Moon conjunct Uranus. Holy shit, that is impulsive energy. Mars in opposition of Jupiter. This means he thinks he can control his expansion. He's an opposite of it, observing, thinking, oh, let me expand in the way that I want to expand. Mercury square nodes. So his mind is against natural flow. Sun square Saturn, typical. His Saturn is in opposition of Algol, and his Sun is square Algol. So that's another one. Let's just say they're all just want to murder people. I mean, I don't even. Look at that 18-degree Uranus in his chart. And it's right conjunct Castor. And look at how much he has. This is why it's like, where's the rest of ya? Well, there's no expression that comes out of him when we see him on any videos and stuff. There's nothing there because it's all right here. All right, let's take a look. Oh, here it is. It's with his Saturn. He doesn't want women to grow. He doesn't want the femininity to grow. And like dodges it. This one just makes me sick. All right, let's see how murderous Kristi Noem is. Sun square Mars. Like, she thinks she's the executioner. Like, she thinks that's her job, is to be the executioner, basically. And that's okay because that's what she did, and she did it for the king. And so she's like, I'm just following orders, right? And it's almost like when the executioner shows up and puts on their outfit and dresses up to do their job. When I was watching her video of this the committee like kind of tearing her apart, there was just like it's like there was no emotion whatsoever. That like this is pure either sociopathy energy. They like show no emotion. Her Pam Bondi actually does show more emotion. That's why she gets frustrated. But with Kristi Noem, like it is shut off. Like there's nothing there. Anybody who can kill a puppy, like that. And look, she's famous for that, like that, for her judicial, that Libra and her reach outward and sudden activities here. She's got Chiron key retrograde in Aries, so that tells me, and it's in opposition of this Pluto. This is why is this right now? Yeah. The reflections coming of the wounds of her reach outward. So that's why everybody's yelling at her. She's got descending node going through the 6th house, so it's pulling away from her position. And this is also shining a light on her behaviors and her doings. You will answer for the wounds of the community. Okay. Yeah, Bondi shows emotion, so it's a little bit different. Okay. She also has like they see how she's got this gift with alcohol, this biquintile, and Christine Ohm also had one. This is her not listening to like anybody else, not listening to her own heart. So it's like, what do you listen to? I'm gonna go over here. This one's got identity issues. It's a last decant Scorpio sun. But this Mars in opposition of this 29-degree Jupiter, it almost looks like she's been planted here, to grow. And is she going to? Probably not. Probably not. Already we have this Moon, Pluto, and Uranus conjunction that we've talked about before. So see how she will speak in service to the people through her wound suddenly in a mean manner. Mercury retrograde on Chiron key retrograde. It's like where people yelling at her, telling her how to, that she needs to fix this stuff. True node discipline here. She's going to be getting her discipline. I tell you guys, also these killings that happen to the U.S. citizens, accountability is coming. She does have a square with Saturn here, oppositions and conjunct the key, Saturn conjunct the key. It seems like there's a little bit more leniency with this chart. She may have been a victim, but like that doesn't mean you act from that space and allow. They're not your friends. This is like Munchausen syndrome, they are not your friends. Let's see if Peter Thiel has murderous tendencies. Who is this? This one's Peter Thiel. So I'm just going through all the ones that we've been looking at, and we're looking at the aspects of murderous tendencies. Because we were looking at a murder earlier today too, serial killers. So it's a normal topic here, I guess. Mars square Uranus, Mars square Pluto, Mars square Chiron key. What? But Mars likes to expand. Mars does not like freedom, does not like to talk about their wounds or how much power they have, does not think they should have to heal. They should have a perfect body. When we're looking at it, make sure you're looking through the egoic perspective. A sun in opposition of Saturn. Remember, and so this means how I shine is not, it's not going to be, Saturn has nothing, I'm not going to get any discipline how I shine because I got lots of money, you know. Here's a here's a lots of money aspect. Neptune sextile Pluto. Um, this one is just, an elitist, supremacist, wants to be the best, wants a legacy for himself. Like, we do have a last decant Leo here with Jupiter. Okay. I don't think he's got it in him. JD Vance? All right. JD Vance now. Mars in opposition of Algol. Mars square ascendant. Mars opposition of the MC. Okay, so this is what we're hiding here. And this is why, like, he dresses up like feminine, because this is the part that's hiding in the subconscious that I keep trying to read. We have a last decant here on the ascendant. That is a murderous tendency, just like Donald Trump has. Algol is quite close to the MC here too. Uranus is on Algol right now. True node, Chiron key right next to each other here. Saturn square the sun. I think that's like, danger of being murdered, actually. Yeah, so this one's, his moon, though, is also square Castor and Pollux. And this is why he's annoying. He's not going to like where he ends up. Let's just say that. But yeah, he has more of a chance of being murdered. Okay, let's look at Ilan Pilan. Well, he's also got Mars square Algol, Mars square Neptune, Mars square Jupiter, Saturn in opposition of Neptune, Saturn in opposition of Jupiter. This is stagnant consciousness growth from being a Nepo babies. All of those Nepo babies, like, they think like that, but they're just not grounded in reality. They're creating, but they're not grounded in reality whatsoever. It's like they're trying to skip steps through their parents, and it's just not, it doesn't ever work out usually, if you haven't noticed. We have an 8th house Mars square. This, like, right here is murderous. Yes, he is also murderous. And his Aquarius is in the 8th house. Like, and this is why he's intuitive and knows what to do in the community. However, to get what he wants. But look at this T square he's got going on with alcohol, his doings, and this 0 point. This is dangerous. Saturn is very close to alcohol too. He also has a self node here, wanting to be a leader. That's why he's so excited dancing on that stage. All right, let's keep moving. I'm kind of curious about this. Okay, so the MC is in Aries here, and it goes into his eighth. And this is why I would see like a fetish of some sort. We got Chiron key conjunct a 000 sun. You know, like when I'm into this chart here, it's like I hear, but mommy, like it's just it's weird. The relationship is weird. It feels strange. It's like he could freak out of nowhere with this Uranus retrograde. But mommy, you know, that's what that feels like to me. Uh, maybe even baby like fetishes. Maybe he likes to wear diapers too or something like because look at it's trine. Yeah, I could see him coming out of nowhere. And let's check Larry Ellison. Well, we have a last decant Leo sun. We have a Mars conjunct Neptune. We have a Sun square Algol. Look at these squares right here. So Uranus square Jupiter, like it's like freedom will not expand under me. What? You know, we got Uranus. Women aren't going to be free. This guy scares me a little bit. His mind is square Uranus too, and his moon is conjunct Pluto. So he is acting from a wound, what he's creating. So that'll be another like Titan submersible shit where they chase the past and create the same story and end up on a fake karmic exit. So Saturn is like an Aries square or an opposition, sorry, of his Neptune right now. And that means like a delay, setbacks of, you know, of a contract. So that's why the merger thing is being like it's delayed. Saturn's been delaying all my shit too. But whatever. Okay. Let's look at an actual Nazi since we have him up. We got Mars conjunct Jupiter, Mars opposition Saturn, Sun square Jupiter and Saturn, Sun in opposition of this Castor and Pollux, Mars semi-square Algol, this will do it. We have a south node too here in the first decant with Uranus in Scorpio. Like this one's just like, you see how Mars is conjunct Jupiter? It's almost like, and all this right here. It's like, yeah, they deserve to just kill them all. Like there's no like him about it. It's more of supremacy and elitism. Yes, get rid of them kind of thing. Eugenics. This is definitely eugenics too, to me, more so than murderous tendencies like we see with Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump. Yes, I have. Looky. I did a deep dive, just a mini on him and Lacey, but I'm going to redo all of them. So I will be putting them up on YouTube and redoing them because of TikTok and Larry Ellison. But yes, I have like a whole paperwork too on this one specifically. Well, I think I can show you guys after this, after I look. Hold on. I'll pull up my little research. Easy just to put in here. There you go. All right, there we go. For Lacey Pearson here, cause of death, murder by strangulation. Okay. So to be murdered, let's see here. Sun square or conjunct Mars. Or Venus is square Mars too. Mars square Neptune. Saturn square ascendant. Saturn opposition to MC. These are the death degrees that she had too. MC exact tragic death. True node was on 1 degree Sag. The thing is, you're not stuck in this, and that's why I wrote down here, like, if someone was to tell her, she had to divorce with a yod with Uranus in the 7th house. But okay, yeah, let's look at his murder. Is he done? Oh, that's Donald Trump. This is yeah, I started writing them all out and doing my shit, doing my stuff. Okay, with this one though, oh look, a 5 degree Scorpio Mars, famous for what he did, right? That's why I always say fame isn't always good. 1717 here on his nodes. Okay, Mars is Ceci quadrate, so it's just unfinished business for him. So to me, he was murdered in the past too. The Sun conjunct Neptune. You can kind of get a God complex with this, by the way. We have Uranus square true nodes, Uranus opposition of Chiron key. Look, I mean, right here, his impulses are just so bad. We have a semi-square here to his subconscious. His nodes, you never know, like, did this man hold down a job? Like, he's square Castor and Pollux. He's square is rising. Like, that's explosive impulsivity right there. With Mars conjunct Venus, it's hard to see one or the other too when we have those conjunctions. It's hard to decipher what is what, and so you'll confuse the two. And look, he was loved in the earlier part of his life and then hated. There's that 0-degree Scorpio. Look at this mean Gemini retrograde Saturn. Look, the other 5, Sagittarius, a firework impulse of his mind that is retrograde. Yes, this is absolutely murderous. This is a very murderous. Like, look, he's even got the same placement as Melania here with Chiron key on the hearth here in Aries. Yes, I would say yes. All right, let's go. Let's move on here. Stockton Rush had a different type of murderous tendency, but let's check out Jeffrey Epstein's. He's considered a tier 1 predator here. So we know this is a predator. We got a 5-degree Aries moon. Oh, you can't see it? Oh, I will fix that. Sorry. There we go. Can you guys see it now? Did you guys see, did you not see any of them? Sorry. Did you see this? And then when I moved back to, okay. I'm sorry. Sometimes when I get going, I don't see the chat. Okay, Jeffrey here. Oh, you couldn't see Scott. Okay. Well, let me go back real quick. Here he is. I mean, look at that. Mars conjunct MC in the first decant of Scorpio. This same placement that Melania has for the home. Like, that means she's just going to kill the home. He just killed the home, right? That's what he did. This is we can pull it up. Here's Melania's. She don't give a shit about us. She will burn the United States to the ground. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, what was the next one we were looking at? Oh, yeah, we were looking at Jeffrey Epstein because we know, obviously. Okay. Saturn conjunct Neptune. I mean, this right here just screams. He really liked what he was doing. It was pleasurable. Last decant of Leo square ascendant and Algol. I would say that's pretty fucking murderous right there. Her Pluto was almost in the same place too. Oh wow. Yep. Wait, what? See how her lesson was that her Saturn was down here? It comes together, doesn't it? And then 1414. This is why numbers mean things. And this 29-degree Mercury, this was her not seeing it. This was her mind not thinking that he would go there. Do you see how the 29 degrees is, it makes it hard to see what it is. It's the same with me with the 29-degree Jupiter. I didn't think I had to expand. I thought I expanded enough, and that's why I was like, I'm retired. That was me being dumb, Jupiter, 29 degrees, not listening. She was not listening. I bet there was an inner voice there that was trying to tell her to go. All right, now let's go look at Melania there. Where's the Pluto? Her Pluto's in Virgo. Oh, in the ninth. I don't know. But just this worries me. This means she shit. It's like shit. Oh, it's like, how bad can it get? Really? Like, this is just. All right. Let's see if Susie Wiles is murderous. Or if she's just being forced to do things. This 27-degree Leo, it's a last decamp Leo as the wound, a 0-degree Scorpio retrograde Neptune. She may be scared of him in my eyes here. And this is very capitalistic mind. So she's more a support for capitalism and is scared of him. At least she puts on a show, but she's got the sun conjunct Algol. Her healing will be famous to the community. She could be one of the ones getting arrested. Okay. Clarence Thomas is the one I wanted to go back to because of this 8th house Mars. His ascendant is in opposition of this Pollux. I mean, okay, so this right here, when I feel it out, it almost feels like he did something bad too and got blackmailed. This is like bringing the timeline to your desk, after you move from the home into like your doings and your joys and then your daily life, right here, it's like with Algol right on the cusp there, that tells me he was blackmailed, first of all. But rightly so, because I think what he was blackmailed with was really bad with this 17-degree Virgo Mars in the 8th house. I remember when I said, I don't know if I said both for him, but definitely both money and hurting people. We got Mars, square Uranus, struggles here. Mars also square, so it's just square Jupiter and Uranus, Saturn conjunct Pluto, Saturn square healing. Okay, and then Saturn square and MC. So this tells me too that he may be getting in trouble here. This is discipline at the middle sky. And MC is conjunct the South Node in Scorpio in the 10th house. And so these will work together. Eighth house is like ruled. It's got a scorpionic flair with the Virgo. So this is especially, I would say, scary. And we're seeing all of his doings and like how he is voting with this. And we're like, you just exposed yourself, made yourself famous for your doings here in the Virgo energy and this eighth house. He exposed himself by his doings. He cannot help it. Okay. Kushner. Let's take a look at his. Oh, look at his little. Okay, so we got a semi-square to Neptune from Mars. Mars opposite True Node, and Mars conjunct South Node. He's going to be known for being that pedophile. Uranus 28 degrees. It's like a household name for them. And Scorpio here. We get another 29-degree Sagittarius. This is a fetish of some sort too. So this could be with this. All right. This one's like, this one creeps me the fuck out. I don't like looking at this one. Let's see if Ghislaine's got murderous tendencies. It's like, are they more likely to be murdered or be the murderer? This is wild. Okay, Uranus square algol. In the first decant of Leo. Is that a Leo? Okay, that's Virgo. Oh my God. I was like, I would think that she also may know something about her father's murder or wants to know. She's got Neptune in Scorpio and it's square, her heart and growth. So this is treachery. A 0-degree Mars in the 7th house in Sagittarius. Do you have a philosophy? Do you have any morals? This is Frankism. This is Frankism. If I was to pick a philosophy here, oh wait, no, that's 0-degree cap. I was like, what? It's all up in here, but Why does the Mars look like it's in, but it's not? What is that mark here? Hold on. Either way, it's still the same reading for me. Whether it's in Sagittarius or it's Capricorn, because it just changes the intention, the flavor of it. So with Capricorn, it would just be more about capitalism and being the best. And um, that's why she's doing what she's doing. And that's why her reach outward is the way it is. With uh, Sagittarius, it would be like based on some sort of philosophy. So Capricorn, the philosophy would be capitalism. Sagittarius, with these old secret society people, I agree with, I can't even believe I'm fucking saying this. I agree with Candace Owens with the Frankism being a main religion for these elitists because of the incestual relationships with the father and daughter. It's just so loud. Um, this is why like everybody she got like shunned in London and UK society. That's this 18 true node, 18-degree true node in Leo. Yeah, she's just a bitch. Like, and she's just angry about losing her position, losing her father, taking it out on young girls. She wants young girls to feel the same way she felt, you know? And then that's why she thinks it's like good in a way because she was supported by these men and she's also getting supported. So it's like Jeffrey Epstein definitely took over the position of her father. And so this Frankism with these incestual relationships with father daughters is what I'm sensing. Okay. Is there anybody else you guys want to look at for murderous? Let's see. Yeah, they have very little consciousness. Yeah. And his death degree is because he did drown. Oh, yeah, we can look at him. I don't think I've ever looked at Robert Maxwell, his chart. But just from what I was feeling, I was like, one of them maybe didn't do something they liked or something because there he is. Sir Frank. I'm just like seeing words, but like just seeing that, I'm like, ah. He died on November 5th. Yeah, let's look at those death degrees. We're just going down a couple little side quests here today after our deep dive into, and like I almost wouldn't even call it a deep dive. It's just like an astro deep dive to look at transit charts and death degrees and such. But I honestly, just my opinion is that it's two different killers just from that one. But you never know. I could be wrong. I'm not opposed to being wrong either. Okay. See, like when they get into this, he was born in Czechoslovakia. It doesn't exist anymore. And okay. Okay. Let's see what we can find. Let's see if this birth town is still here. So it's like, would it be this? Yeah. Come on. I guess this must be what it is. Okay. The day of death was November 5th, 1991. God, the birds outside. It's like freaking me out. There's so many birds out there. Okay. Mars square Saturn and Mars conjunct Pluto. Why does this feel like empty? Oh, look. He was totally murdered, I think. All right, let's check these degrees. 18 degrees Gemini, 4 degrees Mars, 6 degrees Cancer. Oops, wrong one. Nope. Saturn, 13 degrees Libra. We have a conjunction. Oh, I did it again. It's retrograde. Okay. Let's look at 17 Pisces. I'm going to go through all these. 17 Pisces here. What? Well, there it is. Yep. A sudden drowning. Okay. 15 degrees Leo. Sometimes we have more, so I'm just going to check. I mean, that's the way you pass, so. 10 degrees Cancer. And then 16 degrees Virgo. His nodes. That was his nodes. And then Chiron at 20 degrees Aries. But it's in between this here. He didn't have an early death, maybe a fearful one, but yeah. Let's see what transits. Well, we have the south node here conjunct this Pluto. Pluto is square Saturn. Where is it transiting? I mean, this just, if I didn't see the Scorpio transit of the Sun and Mars, was he secretly dating somebody? Was somebody on that boat and nobody knew? I don't know. Did they get taken off the boat? Like, I don't know if he was really alone. I would think that he wouldn't be alone. He would be with someone he liked. And his Venus is in Taurus and his moon is in Taurus. And with the South Node being involved, I would say this happened before. So there's Maxwell's chart. He has an 18-degree sun in Gemini. And he's got 2 technically, yeah. Okay. This is Barron, right? This is Barron Trump. Someone said he went to go pee outside the boat and fell off and drowned. That, I mean, it could be, but there was also that judicial decree one. So that makes me think there's a possibility that he was also murder or suicide. Like, and this is like this like what they like to do if somebody's not doing what they need to be doing. So, I don't know. Who am I looking at? Who is this? Is this Barron Trump, right? Can you hear the birds, guys? Can you hear that? That's the birds. Like, holy. Let's see if he's got murderous tendencies. Mars square Uranus. Mars square ascendant. Mars in opposition of MC. Bender break with your expansion. Yeah. He's got a temper, and you're not going to see it coming. With the Uranus here hidden and subconscious here hidden. This is also like, and it's at 18 degrees. He's all brat. What is up with that killer be killed 22 MC everywhere? Yeah, to me, that's an angle. That's an opening of a door. And it's like energy knew they were going to open that door. That's their metal sky. They're open to doing what they need to do. And, having faith of the energy of, people who do these bad things, we will endure. Humanity will endure. Everything we do is moving towards us growing and changing and becoming a wonderful society. So there are consequences to actions. And I've noticed with energy and souls, when you come in, source already knows what you're going to do. It's already there in the tree. If you make this choice, this is the experience. If you have this choice, but then, so they know all the possible choices you're going to make. And we have all of our repercussions of what to do, like what's going to happen. The quantum technology of this world is flawless. And that's why try to trust. There's a reason this is still going on. So it's like that 29 degree sun, he doesn't want to shine. He thinks he's already shining. He thinks he's already made it. This is a typical nepotism placement here, a past of having to, I would say, balance. Either maybe he was in law in the past, maybe marriage. something to do with the reach outward, had to do with marriage. I don't know, that I really think that reincarnation of was it the grandmother or the great grandmother? Like it seems very similar. Um, Over here, what his perspective of women. He is a total misogynist. He thinks he's better than women. Um, that's quite easy to see over here. It's like anything he wants to do. Oh, I want to go do this. I want to, like, he's just allowed, he gets everything he wants. He's just a fucking brat. Sorry. I'm just like, I don't want to look at him anymore. Let's see if Mamdani has any murderous tendencies. Probably more danger of getting murdered, unfortunately. Oh my God, look at that 17-degree Aquarius moon. That 0-degree ascendant Leo. Just got to do it. You become the leader. This tells me that he's like intentional with his doings. The sun square or conjunct Mars. Fuck. He's more likely to be murdered. Okay. Do you guys want to look at anybody else? Yeah, Elizabeth Christ Trump. Yeah, that's what it kind of seemed like, that South Node for him. It's like the only soul essence I'm really feeling for him. When they're younger, other soul essences don't come into play yet. It just depends on the soul and what they're here to develop. But you'll get different soul essences that like come online throughout your life. Like right now, all of you are having mystic soul essences coming online. When you have a spiritual awakening, there's a spiritual being within you that is awakening you and coming alive. And it's usually likes a specific type of ascension. So if it like they'll like a specific religion, so you'll just be like drawn to some sort of spirituality too. So the spiritual essences that you have in the past are still there, and you'll still be drawn to them. So he has no earth on, so not grounded at all. Yeah, I find that a lot in the Nepo babies too. Yeah, I just think that they're putting themselves on a target list with that 22 degrees. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to look at then. Just going through them. Chris Watts, we didn't look at his. Hold on real quick. And his murderous tendencies? Yeah, we can look at him. Okay. All right, we got some Aries action here in Chris Watts. That 13 degrees again. 13 degrees Sun is Mars too, and it's conjunct to Key. It's in opposition of Uranus. That is impulsive, out of nowhere. Saturn in descending node, conjunct in Scorpio, a Pluto in the first decant of Scorpio, opposite the mind. He was really trying to get out of that family, because he wanted to start a whole nother life. And now I want you guys to also see there's not a lot going on in this chart. And he didn't have a lot going on in his life. Now he's in jail, for the rest of his life. So when you see not so much going on, there's not going to be much activity from them too. I mean, a low Pluto Scorpio here and it's retrograde tells me, yeah, he did something fucking heinous, like very heinous. Like this is, and then we have nodes at 18 degrees, a 7-degree Chiron Gemini. Yep, a lot of retrograde. Yeah. We have Mars opposition here. That's a murderous quality. It's like this was his solution before too. He thought that this was going to give him what he wants, and it didn't. Moon conjunct Venus. This is a like him thinking, yeah, that he had to get rid of her to get a new wife. Here, he couldn't separate the two. Mars square Jupiter, or sorry, Sun square Jupiter, and then Sun in opposition of Saturn. This is him like acting like he didn't do it on that video. It was so wild to watch him after, she had a good friend who wondered where she was. And that's why we need friends too. Because if she didn't have that friend, he could have possibly gotten away with this. Now, what was the other one that you guys want to look at? Oh, elk. Okay, oh, there he is. Oh my God, I couldn't even see him. So when you see this is somebody like, and this is a kill degree to 21 degrees Sagittarius. If you have an MC conjunct Saturn, there's a good chance in the 10th house that you may be going to jail. Like it's a good chance for that. Not nice to women. Not nice. Impulsive, absolutely. We have Mars over here at 29 degrees Cancer, retrograde. And Jupiter at 8 degrees Scorpio. That first, how did he expand from killing? MC at 21, yeah. Okay. Mars is squared Jupiter, semi-square Pluto, sesquiquadrate rising. So it was like this was his last chance to grow here, his masculinity. This, this kind of tells me too that he had everything he wanted done to do, he had somebody else do it for him. And this is smothering. Like, I'll pretend that I like you, get you real close enough to kill you, Oh yeah, well, that's right. Kind of like what he does with Mamdani. Like he just that freaked me out. I would not get that close to that man if I was him. So, this is him making lots of money. 27 degrees Cap. Sesquiquadrate here with women. It's Meatball snoring over in the corner. The Sun and Neptune by quintile. Yep. Yeah, I hate it when I click on it in accident. I mean, he's got a huge T square with his rising. And a lot of I mean, he had a chance of getting assassinated too. Like, I have him on here too. His death degrees: death on a dueling ground, violent death, accident, sickness, death sentence here, death on a grueling, um, sudden or unpleasant death. Okay. This is Elvis and Justin Bieber's evidence. my evidence of it. Okay. I'm going to check that out today too with Elizabeth Smart and Short. I'm just going to go and check their, see if it's connected in some way. Excuse me. What is WSJ? What is that? What? What did I say? Which one? So, Justin, were you talking about this? Or something else, Selena? I don't know what the acronym means. That's why I'm asking. Sorry. I'm gonna have to Google it. So what I want to ask you guys, if you are interested in like serial killer stuff like this, like I am, if you watch that other documentary and tell me, and then like after looking at both charts, which one do you think it is? Because the Wall Street Journal post above that. Oh. Oh, yes. Should I look up what's going on with the Wall Street Journal? Oh my God. I will look. Oh, I wonder if it's on her transit. Is the murder so much easier than divorce? Yeah. So I also wanted to look and see what's going on today, anyways, too. This is what we got going on. Man, I'm gonna be wrong. It won't be Pam Bondi, it'll be this one. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, I'm just looking at it. Sorry. There's no wrong here, Virgo. You accidentally put Washington Post. Okay, the Wall Street Journal. Okay. Are you talking about this one that I have up? I don't know. Sorry, I guess I'm missing it. This is hilarious. Her husband. I don't know. Anyways, sorry, I didn't understand you. Sorry about that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned some murderous aspects today. I will post them on Patreon. I'll write them up for you. I'll post this video if you want to look back at the charts. Go right ahead. And if you watch that other documentary, let me know what you think too. Please, I'm going to post, just write a comment on it if you ever end up watching the documentary. And then, yeah, I'll see you guys for Mystical Insight if I see you there on Patreon. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. It was fun hanging out with you, looking at this stuff. Now we cut away from it, right? We're done. We're done. Let's go have some snacks and watch TV and try to calm down. Like I have to regulate. It's good to regulate after you look at these things. Okay. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.